So those naughty but nice dogs were absolutely brilliant when they were coming in and out of the barn with lots of other dogs and people, and dogs that would normally be a little bit reactive or a little bit spooky around people and other dogs. Actually, we'd got the scent cone wall set up, and they were just kind of doing their thing, and lots of stuff going on around them, and that's what's really nice about scent.
You took the words out of my mouth. It literally spooky, reactive, shut down, worried, anxious, overwhelmed, barky, lungy. It was gone.
Welcome to the absoluteDOGS Sexier and the Squirrel podcast. I'm Lauren Langman. I'm one of the world's leading dog trainers, and it's my mission to help owners become their dog's top priority. In each episode, you'll discover how to gain trust and communicate with your dog like never before, creating unbreakable bonds that make you the most exciting part of their world.
Hello and welcome to the Sexier and the Squirrel podcast, the podcast that gives you real life dog training and sometimes human training results too. I'm joined by the wonderful Dave, and Dave and I are going to be talking scent today. I have to say, Dave, it was Scentsational. Can't help myself.
Oh, I like what you've done there.
And literally, Dave and I were working on scent training. I had my first training sessions with my own dogs. Dave, how did I do? Tell everybody. Come on.
Do you want the truth or do you want the podcast truth?
Truth, the whole truth, and nothing.
No, you were really good. You were really good. We had a couple of misdemeanors, didn't we, where we let our enthusiasm take over, but on the whole it was good, wasn't it?
Now I loved it. Tell everybody what we did, how we did it, why we did it. And the cool thing is, guys, we filmed all of this, but most importantly, Dave, I'd love you to run through some of the exercises we did, because both Tokyo and Skittles got involved. Brave even got to have a go. And Dave, you said that by the end of the week, we actually had some dogs that would be potentially great operational dogs, which was really cool. So we trained for the week at absoluteDOGS HQ in Devon. It was immense. Dave even convinced me that we need a scent building. And really, Dave, run through it from what were we looking for, some of the Gucci stuff, some of the stuff that was a bit harder. What did we do?
Well, we did a bit of everything, didn't we? It was brilliant. So I think this is the great thing about scent, is that it's accessible to every dog, every age, every breed. We had corgis, we had mixed breeds, we had Labradors, we had wirehead dachshunds, cocker spaniels, collies. It was a really great mix of dogs of all different ages and all different abilities, and we had some naughty but nice dogs in there as well, which was really, really good. So we just took those dogs and handlers through a real kind of fundamental and foundation stage to scent work, which would just give them something to focus on. And I think that's the real important thing when we're starting scent work. This is about the dog having something to focus on to take them away from anything that might be going on around them. So those naughty but nice dogs were absolutely brilliant when they were coming in and out of the barn with lots of other dogs and people, and dogs that would normally be a little bit reactive or a little bit spooky around people and other dogs. Actually, we'd got the scent cone wall set up, and they were just kind of doing their thing, and lots of stuff going on around them, and that's what's really nice about scent.
You took the words out of my mouth. It literally spooky, reactive, shut down, worried, anxious, overwhelmed, barky, lungy. It was gone. It was like a miracle. Bang, bang, bang. That dog had a job. That dog had a job that fully consumed them. That dog had a job that fully immersed them. And they literally, I mean, particularly our little Labrador cross and particularly our miniature dachshund, like, wow.
Yeah, and that just shows you the power of scent. And what was really nice, not least your reaction when you saw all the little components of scent work come in, and you got drain covers and football cones and pieces of wood. I think what it really showed is that actually scent is really accessible. I see sometimes it's really can be made quite complicated and intricate, and I'm all about keeping things simple. So there was nothing complicated about it. Just a set of drain pipes you can get for a couple of quid off
I have to say, I was
eBay.
shocked when I walked in and there were bricks everywhere, and still are, I have to add. So if you're at the training center, yes, you can use the bricks. There are blocks everywhere, there are bricks everywhere, there are setups everywhere, like they are everywhere. And Some of it I loved because it's very colourful. Some of it is quite industrial. Like, what on earth does a building company have in common with dog training? Well, go into Powerland and have a look, because it's the whole arena is full of it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot there, right, Dave?
Yeah, and it just shows you with a little bit of creativity and imagination, you can make things really interactive and engaging for the dogs. And these are some of the things you can just set up at home. You don't need a lot of space. You don't need a lot of resources. You know, for the sake of 10 quid, you can set up some really good, enriching scent games for the dog that is just almost there all the time for you to go. You doesn't need a lot of setting up, and that's what's great. You know, we had a really good week of really building some fundamentals and foundations in the dogs that would give them and give owners the ability to then really take scent work wherever you want it to go, because you can stick in the foundation stages, which gives your dog some really great enrichment, some really great focus, um, some really great activities for naughty but nice dogs to do, or you can use that then as a platform to go on and go through the stages of moving into the more technical stages of training, which then sets you up to go and do some real nice practical, you know operationally creative searches. And that's what we saw. Actually, what was really nice about all of the dogs, is they all got to the same level by the end of the kind of days we spent with them. So regardless, the naughty but nice dogs were getting to build a nice indication at the same stage and same kind of journey as those, the working spaniels and the more working type dogs. It just shows you that, with the right fundamentals and the right foundations, the journey can be quite straightforward.
Now, maybe just start by talking about that scent wall, because that scent wall was the envy of many. Like, everybody loved the scent wall. So maybe just tell us, how would you start with the scent wall? What did you do? Why did you do it? Obviously, we filmed all of this, and we can talk to you about that in a minute. But actually, for people who are inquisitive and just intrigued by this, what is that scent wall, Dave? And how do you start it? And what did you do?
So yeah,
You know.
the scent cone wall is the um, kind of the tool really that gives you some creativity to give your dog some enrichment. So effectively, all it is a set of the kind of flat football cones, kind of pinned onto a piece of wood or a piece of plastic. It doesn't really matter what it is. You can make it big, you can make it small, but essentially what you're going to do is place whatever the dog's looking for into the hole of the cone, and the dog essentially searches all the holes to find where you've placed the item. And what was really nice is we had dogs that were quite food motivated. We had dogs that were quite toy motivated. Very often people say, "Oh, I can't do search work because my dog's not toy motivated." But what we actually had was the food motivated dogs ended up searching for Kong, and were rewarded with their food, and giving us some really nice indications. So the wire-haired dachshund we had was giving us a really, really nice clear indication that she'd found the hole with the Kong in. And ultimately that's what the cones do. They just give the dog a bit of an area they can put their nose into to sniff to find what you've hidden
Now,
for
you
them.
designed a very small version of it. It's in my house right now. I wanted to just point and show that one to everyone. And we put it in all of our holiday cottages in Devon on the site. So we put one of those in all the cottages. What's that about? Because that's pretty cool, right? It makes it doable for everyone.
Yeah, and that you've hit the nail on the head. It makes it doable for everyone. So what's really cool about it is you can literally put this in the back of your car. You can have it out in your garden. One of the other things, one of the people on the course with us was talking about, you can just like tack them onto your fence panel, and there's so many
Oh,
ways you can.
she's done it. She has done it.
You've done it. Yeah, well, there you go. I knew she would. So yeah, and it's just something really accessible. So, if you're driving, for example, you're on a long distance journey, and especially if you've got a naughty but nice dog that's a little bit reactive, and you stop at a service station, but people are worried about getting the dog out because we might get some reactivity. Well, actually, you can just pop this, little scent cone wall out the back of your car, and give the dog some real quick enrichment, and some focus to give the dog a break, you a break, breaks the journey up. Most importantly, it's just really accessible. You throw it in the back of your car, you can throw it in the back of your garden. It doesn't take up a lot of room. and it's a really good way of just building some nice engagement with your dog.
And it hits really nicely two of our previous podcasts, which are lifestyling and bridging the gap. For me, it's another way of lifestyling with your dog. I'm traveling. I don't want you to get out of the car and be a moron. I'd love to get out the car and actually have something focused to do, or having something that's enriching to do. Let's do that, because that sounds way more fun than being a moron. So out we get, we can play this, and then you can get back in the car after you've had a wee, and probably you're a bit more relaxed to even go to the toilet, because some dogs won't get out of the car and go to the
Exactly.
toilet. So vigilant. Equally, if we think bridging the gap, that's how you take the dog from working something at home, working something in a setup that's maybe not as busy as the park, but something a little bit less sort of mental than that, but not something as stimulating as, I don't know, a training arena, but something more stimulating than the house. So I think it kind of, it touches really well on lifestyling with your dog, and it touches really well on bridging the gap with your dog. Don't you think?
Yeah, it does. And what's great about it is, like you say, it enables you to take those small incremental steps to bridging the gap to practical environments. So, if you have your scent cone wall in the garden, for example, and you build some really nice behaviour, then actually you could take it to the front of your house. You could take it, on the side of you, prop it up on the side of your car. You can make those small steps to then taking it into the real world, and that's what the fundamentals is all about, is building those foundations which enable you to then carry on into the real practical world.
Now, I know you have created two really cool badges, and one of them is Nose Ninjas. It's a tracking badge. And the second one is on scent. We haven't even named it, it's so new, but it's coming very, very soon to the absoluteDOGS store. So I'm going to suggest to all of our listeners that they go and check those out. Nose Ninjas for tracking, and the scent badge will be there really soon. I mean, it might even be Scentsational. And so, you know what? I think it was a really cool opportunity to do it. Why do you think that badge could benefit a lot of people listening, Dave? And why do you think people should go out and check out the badge on the store?
Yeah, I think when we recorded both badges, the tracking and the scent fundamentals, we had some naughty but nice dogs on those courses. And what was really nice and really evident was, certainly for the when we were doing the tracking badge, for example, we had a dog that would be really reactive to sheep, and we were out in that was really in the live environments. We went up onto the moors to do some stuff, and what you saw was the dog really applied itself, ignored everything that's going on. And that's the big thing I will say around scent, is it's not necessarily about scent work per se. It's about giving your dog something to focus on. So, both of those badges we filmed had naughty but nice dogs in it, and what you saw was their ability to kind of ignore everything that would normally cause them and their owners some problems. So, like you say, we didn't have any shutting down, we didn't have any dog reactivity, we didn't have any people reactivity. We had a couple of occasions where the dogs are kind of partway through a scent work exercise and something happened and they looked up, they went to bark, but then they reapplied themselves back onto the scent and the track. And that's what's really nice. The badges will hopefully give people those fundamentals and foundations to build those solid foundations, which ultimately gives the dog something really nice to focus on.
Now, I know I had a hell of a lot of fun being there. And I think whenever you have laughter in your training, and whether you have a good time, whenever you have a good time when you're training, whenever you have a lot of fun when you're training, for me, that's the best kind of training we could have. Training should never be too serious. Training should never be hard work or feel like a task or real labor. Like, it felt a lot of fun, Dave. Like, I had a lot of fun on the week that we did together. And that's the scent fundamentals. And it really was fundamental. Like, there was a lot of fun in it. So I'm going to recommend everyone goes out there and checks it out, because I genuinely was beaming when I came off that week. I bet you were, to the point that we didn't want to stop filming, did we?
No, and I think that's what having dogs is all about, is that you've got to make it fun. And I sometimes see some stuff where I just think, God, this is just dead boring for the people, for the dogs, and I have a really, really short attention span. So if something starts turning me off, I'm out, I'm done. So yeah, it's dog training should be fun, isn't it? That's the whole point. We have dogs to have fun, and that's why I think sometimes, when you've got naughty but nice dogs, sometimes it can take the fun out of dog training, because people are stressed and anxious and worried about what the dogs are going to do, and that's what makes the scent stuff really important, because you can do something fun with the dog which ultimately stops them reacting to whatever it is they might normally react to, and stops you feeling anxious about what the dog might do, because it's so focused on searching. And yeah, I think that there's a theme of the badge title coming here. Scentsational Fun-damentals. I like it.
Oh, Fun-damentals. It's named. It's hereby named. I love it. I love it. So, guys, if you haven't already, please head over to the Absolute Dog store. We've also put some games into Games Club, so you can taste of the games if you're in Games Club. That is our membership site. So if you're a member of Games Club, please, 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 please check out the incredible, the absolutely brilliant, literally sensational Fun-damentals. That was this episode of the Sexy and Squirrel podcast. Please check out Scent. Please get involved. Please play with your dogs. As you've heard from Dave, it's going to help with your dog's NBN or naughty but nice tendencies. It's going to give you more to do when you ditch the walk and you want to spend some more time at home, maybe with your dog. It's going to give you enrichment, an outlet for your dog. And we can't wait to share more on Scent with you. Most of all, it's fun. And I'd love you all to check it out. Share this episode with a friend, a family member, a lover, a long lost lover, a sister, a brother. Take it to a party with you, whatever it might be. It's the Sex and Squirrel podcast, and we'll see you next time.